All right, welcome everyone to our December webinar. We're going to be reviewing what is new from 2019. We're excited to close out 1 year and get ready for 2020 right around the corner. So to get started, we're going to cover LeagueApps Gateway, which is our built-in payment gateway. We built it on top of Stripe. Many of our partners are using it, but not everyone. So if you are interested in switching from a different payment gateway, such as Authorize.net or PayPal or Stripe, we are happy to have that conversation with you. There are a lot of perks to using LeagueApps Gateway, such as you do not have to pay a LeagueApps invoice on a monthly basis. Transaction fees are taken at the time of the customer's payment, so it's a lot more seamless for you. You also get reporting straight within the LeagueApps management console and a few other perks that we're going to dive into right now. So moving along, LeagueApps Gateway, I have 4 main highlights that I want to touch on from 2019. The most recent and arguably the most exciting is bank payments, also known as ACH, automated clearinghouse. So what this is, the ability to collect online payments directly from one of your participants' bank account. So previously, LeagueApps was only processing transactions from credit or debit cards online. We have now opened up a whole new way for your participants to pay using their bank account. So this has been rolled out for the majority of LeagueApps customers. The final rollout phase will happen in early January. If you do not have this on your account yet and you want it today, shoot us an email at support@leagueapps.com. We can turn it on for you. We've done a phased approach just to make sure that we're communicating with everyone appropriately, that they are getting this upgrade to their account. So the last phase is coming in January. So if you haven't received it yet, you will be receiving a notification soon that this is coming to your account. The big perk with adding bank payments to your account is that it offers your customers a second way to pay, also a second way to store a payment method. So that's something that we get a lot of requests about. Hey, can my customer store 2 different credit cards? They can still only store 1 credit card, but they can now store a credit card and a bank account. So it gives them 2 payment methods that they can store, and it will improve your operations where all payments can now flow through LeagueApps, and it increases the efficiency of your reporting, the accuracy of your reporting, and making sure all invoices are up to date and you don't need to log offline payments from cash or check anymore. So that is the addition of bank payments. Again, that's only available for accounts using LeagueApps Gateway. If you want it turned on, let us know. Everyone will get it by January unless you explicitly request not to have it. Another exciting update is the extended refund window for online payments. So for credit and debit card transactions, previously you were only able to refund them within a 60-day window. We see more and more of our partners using payment plans over the course of a year. So extending this online refund window from 60 days to 180 days has allowed our partners to refund credit card or debit card transactions up to 180 days. So again, your reports are becoming more accurate, and it's an added convenience for you and your customers to be able to do all of this online as opposed to refunding someone via cash or check offline. So there's nothing you need to do there. It's available in your account. If you're using LeagueApps Gateway, you'll just notice that invoices that are from 180 days ago, you can still refund as opposed to getting an error that the refund is no longer available. Moving on, the transaction detail report has 2 new fields added to it if you are on LeagueApps Gateway. The fields are bank transfer ID and bank transfer date. So this is a perk of having LeagueApps Gateway. You'll see this LeagueApps Gateway dashboard right here on the screenshot. You have visibility into when money is transferred to your bank account. So you collect from your customers, and within 2 days, that money is transferred to your connected bank account. This transaction detail report, in my opinion, is the most powerful financial report within LeagueApps. It gives you every single detail about a transaction that you could need. And in terms of accounting reconciliation, it is definitely the gold standard report to use. And now with the addition of the bank transfer date, it becomes even more valuable because you'll have 2 dates per transaction: the date that the customer actually pays you, and then that date that it actually hits your account. So it really helps when reconciling your books. You just go to reporting, transactions, and then find the transaction detail report, and it will be a new data field that you can check or uncheck to have included in your export. Moving on, I know we just got a question. I will get to that at the end here. The last LeagueApps Gateway update is new admin permissions. So previously, only the top 2 tiers of LeagueApps admins could have access to LeagueApps Gateway. We got a lot of requests of different admin roles having access to this financial section of the platform. So what we did is we made a new admin permission section where you can actually give access to any admin in your account to have access to LeagueApps Gateway with a simple checkbox. So the way you do this is go to your Manage Account in the bottom right-hand corner of your account, Manage Admins, and then when you click into an admin, you'll see their role, whether it's org account admin or site admin or program admin, site reporter. We have about 7 different admin roles. Any of those admin roles can now be granted permission to access LeagueApps Gateway. So if you have someone that you don't want to, promote all the way up to the highest level of admin, you can keep them with their current access and just kind of give this targeted access to LeagueApps Gateway. So those are the 4 main updates for LeagueApps Gateway. I think bank payments is a real big win. It's been requested for, I think, a few years. We're very happy we built it. LeagueApps Gateway will continue to be improved as we go into 2020. So these are 4 updates for LeagueApps Gateway. If you have any questions, let us know about those. You can put them right into the webinar and I will get to them at the end. Moving along, we are going to touch on invoices and payment plans. These are really at the core of what LeagueApps does: collect online payments for your organization so everything is tracked in one place. It's a little bit more seamless for your customers to have an online dashboard to go to manage all of their invoices and payment plans. So we have made quite a few updates to invoices. I'll start there. We restyled the invoice page in 2019. We're continuing to add new actions to invoices, so we needed to clean it up a little bit. We removed some text and clutter and grouped all actions into one dropdown instead of having them scattered throughout the page. I'll dive into the 4 new actions we added. I'll touch on 3 here and then the 4th on the next slide. The first is apply credit. You can now, when a customer has a credit with your account, it's a way to refund them or give them a perk outside of just them paying you. Say they need a refund for a spring program. You can say, hey, instead of refunding you, I'll give you a credit to use for a future program. So you can load in, here's $200, here's $500 that you can use to a future program. You can now apply those credits that a member may have with your organization to an existing invoice. The next is apply partial payment. So from an invoice, if you're logged in as a LeagueApps admin through the management console and you go to a customer's invoice and click Pay Now, previously you could only pay the full amount on an invoice. You can now pay a partial amount. So if someone calls you and says, hey, I'd like to pay $100 towards this invoice, but the total of the invoice is actually $500, you can go in, put their credit card information in, and deduct $100 from that invoice. So you can now apply partial payments to an invoice, not just the full amount. Player moves is the 4th update that is really big around invoices. When moving a player or bulk moving numerous players from one program to another, you now have the choice to keep their original invoice or update the invoice to the new program. So if 3 players registered to program A and that invoice was for $200 and you have to move those 3 players from program A to program B, you can now say, you know what, keep their invoice the same, they're only paying $200, or actually program B is $500, so please increase their invoice to the new program that they're in. So it just gives you more flexibility while managing all of your programs and invoices. When moving players, there's less manual work to actually actually make sure that their invoice is up to date. So this is a really big addition to our invoice control of moving players from program to program and making sure that the invoices are reflected appropriately. So moving on to payment plans. This is another area that we're continuing to invest in. It is a very important part of LeagueApps. We see more and more partners using it. It gives great flexibility to your customers if they need a special financial situation set up, or if it's a year-long commitment, such as a club team or something like that, and you don't want to charge a big bulk of money up front, you can offset it by doing different payment plan installments over the course of weeks, months, or even the year. So it takes some time to set up a payment plan, because if you're breaking a $1,000 club fee across 10 months, you're going to have to add 10 installments. But what we did in 2019 is we added the ability to copy payment plans. So if you have let's say a club team, for example, and you have 10 teams and all of them are a little bit differently priced, you can create one payment plan with 5, 10 installments, however many, and then copy it, and you have the option to adjust the dates, adjust the price, or adjust the settings. But really what you're doing is copying the framework of the payment plan so that you don't have to create another 10 installments, because if you're creating a payment plan for 10 teams, that could be pretty time consuming. So this screenshot right here, copy payment plan, you'll see we have a payment plan of 3 installments. I can leave the installment dates unchanged, so it would really just make a replicate payment plan, and then I could go in and maybe adjust the prices. Or you can create the payment plan and then change the installment dates to start on a different date. So this is also great if you have the same payment option year over year or season over season, and you want to take a payment plan from the spring, recreate it for the summer, and really just adjust the dates. So what it would do, you'd pick a start date and it adjusts all installment dates with the same duration between installments, but it starts instead of starting in May, you can have it start in August, and then a payment will hit every month or every 6 weeks, however you set it. The second update to payment plans is this new option to save payment method only. Funny name for a setting, but that is what it does, so trying to be explicit as possible. What this does is if you want to require auto pay for a payment plan, meaning that a customer registers for a program and you want them to save a payment method, whether it's a credit card or a bank account, so that every time an installment hits, it's automatically taken from the customer. This helps you from not having to chase down people to pay, and it also helps your customers because they don't have to log in and submit payment every month that an installment is due. But this new setting, what it does, you can require a customer to opt into auto pay, but you can not require them to pay the first installment. So say you're running club registration, you want everyone to sign up, choose a specific payment plan, save a payment method so you're set for the year, but you don't have that first installment due for a few weeks or months. This would be a great option. As you see in the second screenshot, when a participant is checking out, they will be prompted with pay now or save payment method only. So what this would do, it would prompt them to save a credit card or a bank account, and then when that first installment comes about, that's when their first charge hits. So the way to get this setting available for a program, it's within the program's registration settings. You would require auto pay for the payment plan, but you would not require first installment to be paid during registration. So this is another way to just give you flexibility in how you want to collect your payments, and also your customers flexibility in how they choose to pay and when. This fourth action, disable auto pay, is specific to payment plans, but you'll see that it's right here on an invoice action. And what it is, it's again more flexibility for you to manage how your customers pay. So you can require auto pay, but you may have someone that really doesn't feel comfortable with it, or you've set up a special payment terms with them, you can go into their specific invoice and click disable auto pay. And then that specific invoice will no longer be enrolled. Previously, before you introduce this setting, you would have to turn auto pay off for the entire program's payment plan, but now you can target it for a specific invoice to give people special payment terms and if they require them. So those are 3 payment plan options that were introduced in 2019. The ability to copy, which offers huge time savings, save payment method only, and then disable auto pay. Moving on, we have 2 updates for team tools, one around calendar and one around rosters. So for the calendar update, in 2019, we added a new calendar import. Previously, we were only able to import game schedules where you had 2 teams facing off. You can now import any type of calendar event. So it could be a practice, a scrimmage, a team meeting, anything that is not a game essentially. When going to a program or a team calendar, there'll be a new option to import events. We provide the Excel template, so you download it. You then put in your schedule, the different events, what program or team it's mapping to, the location, the date, the time, and then you can upload it into LeagueApps with a few clicks, and it will reflect your entire practice schedule for the season or scrimmage schedule. So we've offered game import for a while now. We now also offer event import, so that's anything besides a game. The other update related to team tools is a roster update. If you're not using the latest roster version, please let us know. It has a lot of new functionality and advantages as opposed to using the old roster setting. So check it out, see if your roster looks like this screenshot on the page. If it doesn't, that means you're using the old version and we can happily upgrade your account. Just write into us. So one new addition to our latest roster is invoice status. Might seem scary at first. It's explicitly for staff. Invoice status will never be showed to team members or players. This was a highly requested feature to help coaches get involved in payment collection. So we can now add invoice status to rosters and make it just visible to staff. So I'm logged in the screenshot, I'm logged in as a staff member, I'm viewing my team's roster, and I can see that Danny is all paid and Margot and Michael are still unpaid. So if you want to enlist your coaches to help with payment collection and make sure that they're reminding a parent or a player, hey, you have an outstanding invoice that you need to pay. This gives your coaches access to that without having to give them access to your full LeagueApps management console. So I know you probably have a few people running your organization that go into LeagueApps on a daily or weekly basis, and then a whole field of coaches that are out interacting with players and parents. Sometimes there's a little bit of disconnect between the back office and those coaches. This is one way to close the gap. The coaches probably have the best relationship with the parent or player, so this is a way to get them involved in staying on top of payment collection. So this is a setting within roster settings on a program. It's a little checkbox. You can either include it or not include it on the roster. Moving along to our last section, Integration Center. This was just released about a week or two ago, and it's in the early stages. This is an area we're really going to grow in 2020. It's a new extension of LeagueApps that connects your LeagueApps data with popular tools and platforms. So we have 4 tiles currently available in the Integration Center. The way you navigate to this is when you log into the management console, you click the Connect button on the right, and then this page will appear when it says you click Integration Center in the navigation. So right now, there are 4 integrations available to you. Exposure Events is the first. This is an advanced scheduling tool for tournaments. What it does, it will push over team information and registration information from LeagueApps directly into Exposure, and then that is where you can build your advanced schedule for a tournament. MailChimp is one that was just released. We're really excited about it. It will be fully handled within the LeagueApps management console, so you don't need to navigate to a third-party tool to manage it. MailChimp is a marketing automation tool for those of you who don't know it. You can do different drip campaigns, advanced design, so it's for really more advanced marketing materials that you want to email outside of LeagueApps. But we are now able to push registration information, so people's names and email addresses, straight from LeagueApps into your MailChimp account. This is just becoming available now. It's in the early stages. If you're interested, please check out the Integration Center. You can submit a form to be included for early access, but it's a very exciting addition to our Integration Center offerings. Third, we have sports recruits, which again, similar to exposure, we can push information straight from LeagueApps into sports recruits, and then you can use it for your recruiting process for your players. Fourth, Zapier is more of a business tool integration. LeagueApps is included in the Zapier library of apps. Zapier has thousands of applications such as Google Sheets, other email services such as Constant Contact, or Salesforce. CRMs are on it as well. You can push LeagueApps registration, team, member information through Zapier to thousands of different business tools. It is a third-party application, so you need to create your own Zapier account and kind of configure it, but we're happy to help you if you have questions about it. And then to close out the Integration Center, we have a lot of plans for 2020 to build this out. Something that is in the works is QuickBooks, which we are very excited about. We do not have a date that it will be available, but it is in the works and coming soon. And this is an area that we are going to continue to invest in to make it as easy as possible for you to connect all of the tools that you use to run your organization. So as a review, the 4 areas we touched on were LeagueApps Gateway, Invoice and Payment Plans, Team Tools, and Integration Center. That is the overview of the highlights from 2019.